Aloha. You're watching Top Tech Talent Reemployment Project. These are the Reddit recordings where we go through and try to find nightmare interview stories. Now, this one comes from r/RecruitingHell, from an actual recruiter, titled Interview Nightmares, Time to Give Companies Real Feedback, coming from Career Writer 17. And this is an actual, I don't even remember if I meant, actual recruiter himself or herself. I've been in the talent acquisition space for over 20 years. And for 20 years, I've been hearing how horrible the candidate experience is. Ghosting by recruiters and or hiring managers. Now, get this post is a year old and we're still hearing that today. In fact, it sounds like this is happening more often than normal. Lack of feedback, same thing. Multiple rescheduling of interviews. I didn't have that happen. Lack of respect for candidates' time. I've certainly heard that this year. Recruiter or hiring manager showing up late to interviews. Hasn't happened to me. Recruiters not having insight into the role. Haven't experienced that. Hiring managers and recruiters lowballing offers. Now, I've definitely seen that, particularly in some of the job postings. Like, are you kidding me? And the list goes on and on of all the pretty crummy ways recruiters are mucking up the interview process and impacting the candidate experience. So I'm genuinely wondering why candidates are not providing direct feedback specifically about the recruitment agency or internal recruiter who has wasted their time or behaved unprofessionally. Have you ever had such a horrible experience that you decided to contact the hiring manager or HR director, etc., to let them know? What would it take for you to feel comfortable to let an organization know that the agency they've hired has done a horrible job of representing their company? He concludes, I'm so tired of speaking with talent that has been kicked around and treated like garbage. Time to start a feedback revolution. Now, I've seen some of this. You see it on LinkedIn, just people complaining about the recruiting situation or going through the interview process. And there's definitely seems to be this increasing frustration and people who would normally not speak out or ruffle feathers are doing so now. So let's see what some of the answers are. This is from Brainwave CC. They too are a hiring manager, among other things. So to the part of the post that says, so I'm generally wondering why candidates are not providing direct feedback, specifically about the recruitment agency or internal recruiter who has wasted their time or behaved unprofessionally. And Brainwave CC says, if people were averaging 3 to 4 job interviews before getting a viable offer, they would certainly take some time to comment to organizations about bad experiences. But when you're averaging dozens or hundreds of interactions with organizations, and the vast majority of them act unprofessionally, like ghosting, late to meetings, late on follow-ups, rude during the interview process, etc., who has the time to comment on all the unprofessionalism? And even worse, when ghosting is the most prevalent complaint, and ghosting is defined as being unable to reach and get responses from a recruiter sometimes, or an entire organization more often, exactly what hope does anyone have that putting in a complaint through some other channel will return dividends, like, screaming into a wall? when Glassdoor pretty much shows that the unprofessionalism is, in many cases, not an issue of a rogue staffer here or there, but in an entire corporate culture. What would be the point of complaining? I kind of get it. If they don't care, they don't care. So even a complaint ain't going to do anything. Do we see negative Glassdoor reviews, which are pretty public, causing senior management to make marked changes in their organizations to improve their professionalism? Or do they just spend time and money to attempt to squash or drown out complaints? Probably that. And to the other piece of the post that says, and for 20 years, I've been hearing how horrible the candidate experience is. The fact and Brainwave CC, the fact that this has been well known for over 2 decades, yet it has only gotten worse, is indicative that just having discussions about the topic won't do anything. In the last 30 years, the only thing that has ever had a softening effect on the recruitment process was a strong job market. When movement is flowing, bad recruiters pay with poor or non-existent commissions. And organizations with inadequate compensation plans or tedious hiring processes get quickly ignored. It's so true. And the only thing they respond to, that's the only thing they respond to, not carefully worded letters of outrage and disappointment or rebuke. So, yeah. At one time, professional pride would have made the vast majority of senior managers fix reputational problems like this without too much external attention. Today, they doubled down on the unprofessionalism. And then there's one more comment to this thread and post. So Left Liner says 3 reasons. 1, fear of retaliation in some ways. So this is come from the employee's point of view. I might try to apply to this company in the future. I might try to apply to this company in the future. The HR person might have a large network of recruiter friends or simply post on LinkedIn. Is this paranoid of me? Sure. But it's my livelihood at stake, literally life or death. So this point is, you might get considered again. And do you want to burn that bridge? That's a lot of feedback to give. Sending out 100 applications in a single job search is totally plausible. And job searching is mentally and emotionally exhausting already. So that kind of from the recruiter side, that might be a ton of feedback. 150, 200 applications. One person gets the job. Are you going to send out 199 feedback pieces? And then lastly, 3, knowing from experience how efficient, especially large companies are at addressing feedback from the outside or inside and make appropriate changes to their company culture. I know a more productive use of my time is, for example, spending an extra 5 minutes on the toilet. So there you have it. What's going on in the industry and the job search and interviews and recruiting. It's pretty crazy. But thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more of the Reddit reaction videos, you can pop in right. I believe it's right here. So I'm Peter. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you next time on Top Tech Talent, the Reemployment Project, Reddit recordings. Aloha.